What's up? When I was a kid, my aunt and uncle lived in New Hampshire, right where the White Mountains are. And we'd visit quite often in those days. My father would say, get in the station wagon, we're going to go visit your aunt and uncle. So we'd go up there, and they had a big property. They had a couple of horses, a couple of hens. And when it would get dark out, my uncle would light a fire, and we'd cook steaks. And while we're eating the steaks, he'd tell us scary stories. One particular story he'd tell us was that not too far from his house was a crazy guy, a hermit, kind of looked like Grizzly Adams, who lived in the woods and was always roaming around at night. And he says sometimes if you pay attention, you can hear screaming in the dark. And he says if you ever see this guy, run in the house and lock the doors because he's dangerous. So I kept that in mind. I don't know, I thought maybe it was like a fake story. So time went by, and we were up there again, and my father and my uncle had gone fishing. Down the road there's a lake, and my mother and my aunt had gone visiting a neighbor, Daniela. So we were left alone, me and my cousins there. So we're playing in the back, playing with a couple of horses, a couple of hens, and in the distance I see a big man with a beard who looked like Grizzly Adams coming our way. He had a hammer in his hand. And I asked my cousins, I go, who's that? And they go, that's the crazy guy, get in the house, get in the house. So run in the house, lock the door. This guy comes to the house, comes up on the porch, takes out the hammer, and starts hitting the doorknob. You know, trying to break the doorknob to get in the house. So we run out the front, and we're running down the street. We get to a payphone, and we call the police. I dial 911. It rings, a couple of rings, 3 rings, 4 rings. It picks up, and they start reading commercials. I guess, you know, to pay for their costs, they're reading commercials. One was for a hot dog stand, the other one was for like one of those taco places. And I'm like, all right, will the cops pick up the phone? So finally they pick up the phone, and I explain to them what's going on, and they go, yeah, we're going to send somebody right out. And we're waiting and waiting. Finally a cop shows up like 20 minutes later. We run to the house, and we tell him, yeah, there was this big guy with a beard, you know, looked kind of creepy, had a hammer, he tried to break the door. And he's like, we'll take care of it. When they leave, so we go back in the house. About 10 minutes go by. This guy shows up again. Crazy guy shows up, and he busts the front door. He comes into the house, and we run out. As we're running out, my father and my uncle are driving back with their station wagon, and we tell them what's going on. So my uncle immediately calls the cops again, and they arrive, like, because I guess he knows them. They arrive right away. They arrest this guy, and they inform us that he belongs in a mental institution. He's mentally unstable. But they've tried to put him away, only that the judge up the street always lets him out. So I was talking to my uncle like, was it 4 days ago? And he says to me, that guy, remember that guy when you were a kid back in the 70s? That crazy guy? I go, yeah, I remember him. He goes, he's still, you know, at that mental institution in New Hampshire. And I was very happy about that. But just shows you some people, you know, really crazy.